I learned a lot of Japanese. I learned a lot of new words. I learned more about grammar. I had a lot of practice speaking with the coaches. I had a very enjoyable experience. I really enjoyed my time learning Japanese. I made a lot of improvements, and I'll continue learning more Japanese. 私は加藤林田です。アメリカのフェアフィールド出身です。でも、バレオで育ちました。趣味はハイキングと読書と料理です。時々サンフランシスコの北にドライブして、その周りをハイキングします。ゴールデンゲートの橋の近くで写真を撮るのが人気です。歩きながら綺麗な景色を見ます。本を読むが好きです。例えば、聖書や自叙伝を読みます。自叙伝は北朝鮮から難民の人たちについてです。会社の設立者についての本を読みます。料理をするのが好きです。寿司を一から作ります。クレープと肉と野菜を作ります。ほっぺたが落ちる。1991年、東京の教会で英語を教えました。子供から老人まで教えました。英語を教えた経験はとても良かったです。クラスが始まる前に生徒たちは聖書を学びます。学生は英語を学ぶ楽しみを味わいました。私の好きなダジャレを紹介します。
はい、ダジャレ、私も大好き。
パンダは何を食べましたか？パンダ。
パンダ。
寿司のレストランは寿司詰めです。
寿司のレストラン。
上手はサメです。上手は泳ぐのが上手です。とても面白いです。
カードさん、ダジャレ大好きですね。
はい、大好きです。
布団が吹っ飛んだ。知っていますか？布団が吹っ飛んだ。知っていますか？ Do you know? 布団が吹っ飛んだ？
いえ、知りません。
布団は何か知っていますか？ Do you know what is 布団？
はい。布団があります。
布団あります？カートさん？
はい。布団で仕事をします。
布団で仕事する？
はい。
こうやって？
はい。
いいですね。カートさんの家に布団ありますか？
はい、あります。
いいですね。日本の布団ですか？
アメリカの布団があります。
そうですか。こたつは知っていますか？こたつ。
いえ、知りません。
こたつは冬に in winter 布団をこう置いてテーブルに置いて you put the futon on the table, and then you got to actually become warm, and then eat something with the futon with the table. 机と布団一緒に、置いて冬は食べます。知っていますか？ Do you know?
はい、とても面白いです。
面白いですね。見たことありますか？ Have you ever seen?
いいえ。でも、見たいです。
ぜひ見てください。
毎週、トストマスターズのミーティングに参加します。トストマスターズはクラブです。そして世界中で開催しています。トストマスターズはスピーチとリーダーシップを達させるためにあります。トストマスターズのミーティング参加者たちはさまざまな役割を行います。例えば、参加者は文法上の間違いを数えます。他の参加者は時間を語ります。参加者は最低時間になると、緑のカードを表示します。最大時間になると赤いカードを表示します。トストマスターズはとても面白いです。
私も参加してみたい。I want to try.
はい。私は早口言葉が好きです。
早口言葉？すごい。
はい。
やって。
例えば、生麦、生米、生卵。生麦、生米、生卵。
生麦、生米、生卵。
はい。
すごい。
はい、
すごいですね。他には Do you know any other 早口言葉？
いいえ、知りません。
東京特許許可局。東京特許許可局。難しいですね。It's difficult. 東京特許許可局。
秋の許可局
そう、東京特許許可局。難しい。すごい難しい。難しいです。
でも難しいです。
生米、生麦、生米、生卵。すごいですね。ダジャレと早口言葉好きなんですね。
はい、好きです。レストランに行きたいです。そして、生麦、生米、生卵をください。
すごい。
My first impression of Kurt-san was that he's very kind, but also like quiet. So like he seems like he doesn't want to talk much. Yeah. But like he has very like high motivation. So like he always asking me question like how can I say blah blah blah, or what is this word meaning? That kind of. He made a lot of efforts. So like he practiced like every day, and then like every lessons he like remember like sentences properly. So I was quite impressive. I think the biggest one is like of course he memorized a lot of sentences and he knows how to introduce himself now very well. Just like start lesson, we had a like normal conversation, like small conversation, and then when we started, he couldn't even say like I'm fine or like I had a like really nice weekend. He couldn't say that, but like on the section 3, he was able to have a like small conversation like that. So I was very surprised, and then and then also like I didn't realize that section 1, but on the section 3, I realized that he actually likes some very unique things. Like for example, like he really likes joking, joking stuff, and he's very unique person. So I'm very like happy to see him that he's speaking Japanese confidently.
But if I start to talk for a long time about different subjects, then eventually I run out of vocabulary. I have to look up words. We're in headlands. というところは we're in headlands というハイキングします。破産しました。Right? 破産しました。
破産で、週末は何か料理をしましたか？
はい。ご飯と野菜と、鶏肉を食べました。楽しかったです。
楽しかったです。私もです。みちゅ。
So, Curt-san, congratulations on your completion of your master course. How you feel now after the presentation?
I feel really good.
Great. And you should
like
try in the Toastmasters.
I give speeches at Toastmasters very frequently.
In Japanese also, have you ever tried?
In English. Only in English. I haven't tried in Japanese.
You should try like English, Japanese at the same time, like me, you know. I am from United States. 日本、アメリカから来ました、you know. Then maybe people can understand English translation and the Japanese pronunciations they can hear. So I think it's going to be really cool because some people, you know, really love Japanese pronunciations they hear, you know. So I think it's going to be great. And I'm sure people gonna ask like, how did you learn? What does it mean? You know, what is a word? What is a dajare? What is actually hayakuchi kotoba? You know, I'm sure people want to hear.
I'll look for a club that has both Japanese and English speakers. I'm sure there's a bilingual club somewhere.
Oh, that's good. That's great. So have you ever joined before the bilingual club?
No, I haven't. I'm a member of an English-only club.
Okay. You should try this bilingual club. That's so interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Sure. And so I'd like to ask your background. So can you tell me your background? Like you're a third family of Japanese actually family, the third generation.
My grandfather on my father's side was born in Kumamoto. My grandmother was born in Maui. I have relatives in Hawaii. I have aunts, uncles, and cousins in Hawaii. I have a brother here in Vallejo. Vallejo is about 30 miles northwest of San Francisco. I have a cousin in San Francisco.
And you're the only one actually you are learning Japanese, or like all your other family also try to learn Japanese? Can you tell me about that?
Some of my relatives speak Japanese. Like, for example, I have an uncle teaches at the University of Hawaii. He speaks Japanese fluently.
Great. Have you ever tried to speak to him in Japanese?
No, I haven't done that yet.
You should present this presentation.
I'll do that.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so you're living in California, right?
That's right, California.
And then what was the trigger you wanted to try to learn Japanese at that time, you know?
I wanted to improve my Japanese. I studied it for 2 years in college in the early 1990s. I forgot a lot of it. I wanted to learn more Japanese and to make improvements in that area. Someday in the future, I would like to go to Japan to visit different places. I would also like to meet some Japanese people and talk to them in Japanese.
Yeah, sure. The funny thing is like, I grew up in Kumamoto. Did you know that?
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah. I was living my childhood between 8 years old till 12 years old. And then it's like your face is like a Kumamoto person. You know, it has like each prefecture. It has the common face. And then like your face is like a Kumamoto. So that's why this is like, I feel really familiar, you know? It's like I went home, you know? So have you ever been to Kumamoto?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, you should visit.
I heard that the Musashi is good over there.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a volcano in Japan, in Kumamoto. It's the Aso Mountain. Do you know?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, you are from volcano because Hawaii also has a volcano, and in Kumamoto also it's really active volcano, and your both family has a volcano, so I'm sure you should visit.
Yeah, I would like to visit.
Yeah.
Go over there.
And
look at all the sites.
Yeah, exactly. So, what was your experience during this master course? What was something? It was very different, new experience, or difficulties, or excitement? What was it? Can you share?
I learned a lot of Japanese. I learned a lot of new words. I learned more about grammar. I had a lot of practice speaking with the coaches. I had a very enjoyable experience.
Great. What was the most like difficulties like while doing this speaking training?
I think some words were difficult, like Denki Gijutsusha. Electronics technician.
Difficult to pronounce. Yeah. Can you tell me one more time?
Denki Gijutsusha.
Yeah, that's so difficult. Denki Gijutsusha. Look me, it's like even a native is very difficult to pronounce. Denki Gijutsusha. Yeah. Yeah, sure. And so some pronunciation was very difficult, so you practice, I guess. So now you can speak better than me. Denki Gijutsusha. Great. Yeah, and also you know a lot of this dajare and also hayakuchi kotoba, which is very like a Japanese culture thing. It's not like many people know about this stuff, especially if you're not living and then grow up in Japan. So how did you learn?
I was curious about different puns and different tongue twisters, so I looked them up online. I also looked at some YouTube videos. And I found some examples of different puns. I found a tongue twister as well.
Great.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And then always you have this very unique expression like chiga sawagu. For example, today. How did you learn? Even I didn't remember so much, because I don't use it, but also nice, it's you always use right timing, how you really learn.
I was curious about different Japanese expressions. I looked them up on YouTube.
How? But how, how you search?
I searched for Japanese expressions.
Okay. And what about like in American people in general? It's very difficult to maybe start learning Japanese. Even there's a lot of people maybe like karate or samurai, Japanese history, or Japanese landscape, or any pop culture like anime. And I think they have desire to actually one day it's nice to learn how to speak, or it's going to be really cool if I can speak. I think especially Japanese culture is quite getting more famous in the United States, and I'm sure a lot of people have this desire. And what is something advice for them, for you, like you actually really know how to speak now, and even you have own presentation?
I would say try to find some area of interest and start learning Japanese based on that. If you're interested in sports, learn how to talk about sports. If you're interested in different kinds of movies or hobbies, learn how to talk about those things. Also, find some people who know how to speak Japanese and start speaking to them.
That's amazing.
Try to make conversation with them.
Yeah, amazing. So, Kata-san, in the long-term future, unfortunately, language skill is like sports. If you're not playing every day, you are losing the skill. You forgot how to play. So, the speaking also the same. Even like native, I know a lot of Japanese people, native person who live in the different country so many years, and they start forgetting how to speak the native language. So, it's a language is like exactly like sports. If you're not playing enough, you start losing the skill. So it's very important to use it often. And like you said, try to talk. If you have any opportunity, try to talk, use it. So long term, in your future and expectation, what is your best scenario for you?
I'm planning on looking for people who know how to speak Japanese, and I'll start talking with them. That way I could keep on practicing my Japanese.
Great.
I'll also look up some stories in Japanese. I'll listen to the stories and read them as well.
Amazing.
Like different stories, listen to different stories.
Have you ever thought to contribute some culture teaching or something like a phrase, or read some story to like American people for children, or even the old people? Have you ever thought about?
I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be great. Yeah, they're gonna learn totally different culture, and maybe they can learn so many things, not only language, different culture, different mentality, different thinking way. So yeah, I think you can do in the long term.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, great. So Kat-san, thank you so much. Do you have anything that you want to say in the end?
I really enjoyed my time learning Japanese. I made a lot of improvements, and I'll continue learning more Japanese.
Perfect. Thank you.
Adventure.
Yeah, definitely. This is ending, but also a new start to the next level.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Curt-san.
So, if you want to change your life with a Japanese speaking skill, seriously, join our master course, 2 months. So you can be ready to communicate with Japanese people after 2 months. So for example, you can maybe make Japanese friends, you can enter the Japanese company, you can try more conversation with Japanese people every day. So that's why your speaking skill grow up every day. So these 2 months, we're gonna make a perfect the foundation of your Japanese speaking skill. Then you can start speaking with Japanese people, real life or social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, or anywhere that you can actually have the chance to speak. So if you really want to change your life seriously with Japanese communication skill, speech skill, presentation skill, for the business, for the private, let's join the master course.